Command Center Postgame Live is brought to you by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today.
Welcome into Command Center Postgame Live, brought to you by Nissan. Your final score, you seeing that right? 24-17 out here in Philly. And I'm here with some great guys. Brian Colbert Jr. here with Brian Mitchell and Santana Moss. And boy, does it feel good to get a W for the last one of the season, fellas.
Well, if you're sitting in that tunnel and you watch all the guys coming off the field, from players to coaches and people around this team, you understand it's very hard to win in this league.
Yeah.
And I understand a lot of people are upset how the year is gone. But when you have injuries and all those type of things, you still keep fighting. You still feel you can win because everybody's a pro in this league. And to see them come through there, you can see the relief on their faces. This is the last game. At least it gives you a great taste of what you can go into the offseason with. And I saw a lot of guys that were fighting out there. I saw a lot of coaches who were like, oh, Lord, we got it done. I know, listen, don't say what, tell me about who the Eagles played. Hell, playing back.
Going to talk about all that, but fellas, let's bask in this moment right now, because we talked about what this game meant for us, but we knew what it meant for the Eagles. They were playing for second place, right?
Yes.
They did not get that because of us today. And B. Mitch, you said it perfectly. Yes, they played their backups.
Yeah.
They had their backup quarterback in. We had our third string quarterback in.
Yeah.
And we have had to play with that all season.
But they had a lot of starters in, too.
They had a lot of
Let's be
starters
real.
in. And we have had to play like that all season long. So to all those fans that are poo-pooing on us saying that Philly had their backups, well, we play with backups all season long. And it shows how hard that is to do, B.
It's hard to get it done, but you know what? When you look at this game, for me, I saw some great things on defense. I saw Jeremy Reaves out there running around, got a pick. Did some great first pick since 2020.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw some great things happening. I also saw we've been talking about we have a young good running back. We got two young good running backs. Okay, C-Rod has shown you he can outright ball as well. All right, Bill can play, C-Rod can ball too. I saw guys stepping up, and that offensive line was good as well.
And somebody that definitely stepped up was our quarterback, Josh Johnson. He is headed to the podium right now. Let's check out our boy.
Nobody in here. Yeah. I mean, we out. You with me, you ready to go. Look at it. You ready to get to that Sunday dinner, huh?
Hey, look, we got to get there one way or the other.
I feel you. I feel you.
Sorry, they're probably all waiting to come in live.
Well, I mean, we got. You wanna get the party going?
What's it like to get the win, man?
What's it like to get the win? It's unexplainable, man. Like, I know to the rest of the world this might not mean nothing, but just the journey I've been on. Last time I was in this building, I thought my career was over, and to just go out here and just win today, not just win, but how we win, man. It was like adversity, interception. We fumbled a snap. You know, defense stood tall. But for us to come together as a unit and not waver and get this W, man, I think it was a great one. I think that's the best thing I could say. You good?
How is it preparing for a team that didn't play a ton of starters, and what did that do for you this week in terms of trying to figure out what they're going to do?
I mean, I think this team, like, we just kind of got to play what you see. And I just kind of relied on my experience of, like, you know, just playing for Vic once in the Niners when he was our defense coordinator, just understanding his philosophy, and just kind of just involving with the game as it played out. You know, they were throwing different things at us, and it just got to the point, you know, you just got to play what you see every snap. and just try to go out there and execute. And I think we did a good job of that and pulling together and was able to finish strong.
At this point, you're the most veteran guy and most rooms that you're going to be in. But
Yeah.
Is there any point this week or today when you're talking to some of the younger guys and, you know, how important, regardless of how the rest of the season is going, the game on distance?
I mean, that's more of a thing that I'm going to lead by example. No need to say it. I feel like our leaders, you know, our coaches, the leaders on this team, you know, they do a great job of showing up every day. And that kind of sets the precedence of what we got to do to go about our business. And when guys see me, I just want them to see a guy, you know, that just being a light in the room, like a guy that's grateful to be able to play this game that so many people dream that they can get the opportunity to do. And I'm gonna always put myself back in that kid-like mindset of understanding like how it felt playing in Pop Warner, you know, dreaming and hoping that one day you'll play on a Sunday. So to me, I'm just gonna always let that show in my actions, and I hopefully, you know, today we look like we all was on point, so it worked, and it wasn't just for me. It's credit to everybody.
Josh, what was the call at the goal line there? You kept it yourself. Was it your choice or was it?
Yeah, I had options to keep it or throw it, and then we set it up well because we kept trying to run in there, and they was holding strong, and the looks were just getting more and more premier. So I thought Cliff did a great job of timing up when to call it, and then when the options was there, you know, the corner was kind of waiting. I didn't know if he wanted to come to me or not. I saw Chris pop in the back of the end zone, so if he'd have ran to me, I was gonna pop it to Chris like I did to JB, and he ended up turning his back, so I just kept it.
It seemed like you were under center a lot. Was that part of the design this week?
Yeah, and then it's just a situation, though, especially like when I dropped the snap, and you know, just trying to eliminate, you know, those mishaps and just play clean football, give us a chance to win, and we was able to do that today.
It seemed like Terry and Debo on the outside were kind of getting what they wanted. What did you guys see in those matchups, and what does it show you with two veteran guys like that giving you everything in Week 18?
Oh man, I'm so grateful for those guys, man. They showed up all week, showed up on game day, and they was rocking. And so for them to really go out there and make the plays that they did, I feel like it opened it up. It opened up for the run game in the second half. They started clouding Terry a little bit more, which was good for us because it created some running lanes for C-Rod and Bill. And then we was able to, you know, I felt like we was a little bit more balanced at the end. And then we was able to punch in some touchdowns and come away with a victory.
What did DQ say to you after the game?
He just said, man, he just said congratulations, man. It was a brotherhood win, you know. And that's really what he's been preaching all week. Love playing for DQ, man. He sticks to the purpose. And you know, that's a sign of a great leader. And I know this team, this organization is going to do great things because they got the right man at the helm.
Hey, Josh, isn't a lot of movement at the quarterback position. So can you just share, like, in terms of the brotherhood, what's the camaraderie that you all have built in that position really specifically so that you're able to come in and do your job there?
It's a great support system, man. Like, everyone supports each other. Everyone has each other's back. Everyone shows love. Like, and it was there the day I walked in here. I noticed it with Sam, with Jay, with Marcus, and then when Jeff came back, you know, the bond was there. So for me, it was just really just coming in and being myself and just being an asset to the room in any way possible. And you know, the guys when they were in there, you know, it was my job to support them in the best way I could, and they was always open, which is huge because I've been around some places where, you know, guys might not be as open to you, and you know, everybody was open. And then when I got the opportunity to play, you know, Marcus supported me in every which way possible. Jay supported me with every which way possible. Jeff got here, Sam, same wing, Cliff, BJ, like. It's a great room for quarterback development here, and I think you can see that when different guys go in there and learn how to manage the shit.
What's been your impression of working with Cliff this year, and what have you thought of him?
Awesome. I've never been around Cliff. Never played in this style of offense. It's a very innovative offense that get guys open, man. He knows how to get guys open. He's always looking to attack the defense. And I've enjoyed just playing with him, and also just how open he is to our opinions and things that we are comfortable and not comfortable with. Because like my situation, I never really got to really play for Cliff in real games like Marcus and Jay has. And for him to be open to me and responding to me to the things how I see it and go out there and call it that way, it was a big adjustment for him to do that. And I think he responded well. And Cliff's a great coach, man. So I'm just glad to be here with him.
Josh, was there a post-game embrace from somebody like that, from somebody that meant more to you than others?
I mean, my mom, my wife, my two sons, and my brother was here. They were sitting right behind us. And so to have them come on the field, just experience that, like, being a dad, like, a lot of my kids miss these moments with me bouncing around. And so for them to be able to just embrace the whole environment of what comes with this, I hope it puts an impression on them, that like we can do this out of Oakland, California. We can do this out of anywhere, but you gotta do your part every day and show up for yourself and just show up for the people that you're working with. And you never like God does the impossible all the time, and just keep your faith and keep going. So hopefully I learned a lot. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with him after this about it.
I saw you juke 7 out and kind of got to the end zone, but that reaction, was that just like letting go of everything?
Yeah, like man, you gotta internalize a lot in my position, and you gotta stay the course, and you gotta be disciplined to a lot of things, and you gotta kind of be borderline a little, I guess crazy is the word, because you gotta. But it's now like I'm gonna use the word faith. Like you gotta really be faithful. And you gotta really listen. Like for me, I gotta listen to the Spirit when it talks to me. Because when I came here in 23 and I had the 2 concussions, I thought it was over. Like I thought it was over, and I prayed on it, and I just got closer with God, and He just told me, just keep going, man, just keep going, and don't waver. Like take gratitude in the small victories, whether that be getting a rep, whether that be getting there and just handing the ball off. Like those things mean something in this league. And so for me, I just focused on those things, and was able to get this opportunity today. And I just want to just go out there and just show my gratitude and my style of play.
Cool. Thanks, Josh.
All right, thank you guys.
Hey, Josh, congrats.
Thank you.
That was our quarterback, Josh Johnson. Now, that's how you end the season. Now it's time for our Toast of the Town, presented by what, B-Mish?
La Chemin de Rock.
Champagne and Branson Cognac, the official champagne and cognac of the Washington Commanders. And this Toast of the Town is no other than 1-7 Scary Terry, wide receiver Terry McLaurin against the Eagles. Fellas, he is currently number 3 all-time in career receiving yards in franchise history. Career receptions in franchise history versus the Eagles, passing Bobby Mitchell, who had 70. And he's also number 4 all-time in career receiving yards in franchise history versus the Eagles, passing Gary Clark, who had 1,014. Fellas, that boy 1-7 keeps getting done. Tan, I'm tossing this one to you because I got to imagine you on both of those lists.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, London just told you, I don't be knowing half of that stuff. But when it comes to the guys in our division, we all have a team that we excel of. You know what I mean? Like I had the Cowboys. It was one of those teams. I had the Cowboys and the Giants. But Terry has been an Eagle killer. I mean, from day one, no matter who they had, their best, their second best, we heard some great names in here that he went up against, and Terry seems to always show up every time he plays against the Eagles.
Terry always shows up. Now, we got to go to break, but when we come back, we'll be hearing from Bobby Wagner at the podium and more from these guys right here. This has been Command Center Postgame Live, presented by Nissan. We'll be right back with more after this break.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Now get 0% APR for 60 months when financed through INMAC, or get up to $5,000 customer cash on select new models.
Never did. I'm just a little bitty girl, like a whole lot of kids, doing my own thing. Check me out, fella. Tell me what you think.
What would you like the power to do? Bank of America.
The best offense is a great defense. Get 100% verified tickets only from Ticketmaster. Seats available all season long, even last minute. Take it to the house every time. Ticketmaster, official marketplace of the NFL.
The Maryland Lottery Holiday Raffle is here with your best chance to win $1 million. Only a limited number of tickets will be sold. There are also 10 $100,000 prizes. In fact, there are over 10,000 cash prizes in all. The final $1 million drawing is on January 2nd. So, play the Maryland Lottery Holiday Raffle, because tickets are going fast.
At Northwest Stadium, we raise hail together, cheer together, and trust in our team together. Northwest is proud to support the Commanders. And as your hometown credit union, your goals are our #1 priority. We're your friends, neighbors, and fellow fans. And your financial success is our passion. Become a member today and let us help you build your next dynasty. Northwest Federal Credit Union, where trust matters.
Welcome back into Command Center Postgame Live presented by Nissan. We are awaiting head coach Dan Quinn and linebacker Bobby Wagner. As soon as they get to the podium, we will take them. But as we wait, it is time for our Fast Play of the Game, brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And B-Mitch, you mentioned Revo earlier. We talked about him in the pregame as well. He is our Fast Play of the Game, and it's this interception for 28 yards. B, you said this is his first interception since what?
First since 2020, but the thing about it, you watch that kid, he has been unbelievable on special teams for a long time here. Made the Pro Bowl with that thing a few years, and now getting a chance to play because they saw what he was doing. Had some injuries, he went in, and they kept him in there.
Yeah.
Revo will put that tie out on you. He'll make you think twice about going across the middle, and he picked that interception off today, and he was tied for the lead with tackles on the team. Says a lot about him.
Says a lot about Revo, and honestly, his whole career says a lot about him, fellas. We talked about it a little bit in the pregame. He's a fighter, and he's one of those people that Tanner just needs an opportunity. We saw him kind of stuck on special teams for a really long time. Yeah. Injuries forced him onto that field, and hard play forced him onto that field too. Tanner, he rose to the occasion.
Yeah, I think one of the things about him that shines bright to me is just he never cared. He wanted to play football. He wanted to do what it took to be a part of this team, and made sure every time he was out here on the field, he left it on the field. And that's why he was around for so long. And then you got to think about it. You had different coaching staff that basically had him on that team, and now he's with a new staff, and they feel the same way that Ron felt away about him. But I say one thing too, man, those are the type of guys you need on your team for you to have a successful team. You need more guys like that that's selfless and that's going to go out there and fly around, make plays, special teams, defensively, however it is, whatever you need from me, Coach, I'm there.
And that's exactly what Revo does. And we talk so much about the importance of special teams and being special. Revo is a testament to that, man. He earned his bread and butter on that special teams and has found a way to make a play. And B-Mitch, I think it's going to be hard to get him off the field now.
It's going to be hard to get him off there. And the thing about it, listen, man, you find a way to stay around.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember Coach Gibbs telling me the more you can do, the longer you can play. And Revo has shown he's very, very valuable as a special teams player. But this year he's shown he's even more valuable now because he's the type of guy where you can keep one of him.
Yes.
You don't have to keep two different people to play that position.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a special teams guy and another safety. You got Revo, he can do both of them. Make sure your agent understands that when you're going in to get your contract. But you know, you can do those things. He is a guy who's special for a team. And you know, I've been talking to him for the last 3 years. We've become kind of close here. I like to see guys like him because this guy, when he wasn't sure, he never stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
He kept working, and the good things that's happening for him right now is what you can get when you put the work in.
And this has been great to see him, too. I mean, you look at the Tress Way video where he finds out he's a Pro Bowl. His whole family there, Revo probably the happiest one. Yeah. Smiling, cheesing. And we remember when Revo found out he was going to be a Pro Bowler, how much that meant. Having leaders like that have been through so much. I mean, both of y'all have been through it being on Washington for a really long time.
Yeah.
Different regimes, new things going on. I mean, Revo done been through 3 name changes, right?
Yeah.
How important is it to have guys like that in the locker room as we move forward with such a young team trying to turn things around next season?
I mean, guys like that are the staples. You know, those are the guys you try to go and find and say, let me find more like him. Let me find more like Terry. Let me find more like Revo. Let me find more like some of these guys that was here and that's been able to, you know, withstand some of those changes. And that's why I say you give him so much credit because not only he's been here with other coaching staff, but we just know where he came from. And it's not easy to be a special teamer. You know, it's not easy to fly around there and do some of the things that he's done over the past years. I mean, we talk highly about him year after year about how he flies down on kickoff. They took a little bit of that out the game for him, but he still shows up on that. Yeah. And then he said, all right, you take that apart. You kind of minimize my production on kickoff. Now I'm going to go out here and do it on punt team, and then vice versa. So now to see him finally get his chance to go out here defensively because someone got injured, he showed this team, he showed the whole division that, hey, I got an opportunity because someone got hurt, and I'm going to make sure that's the last time they take me off the field.
When you start talking about culture and building culture, we all look at a coach.
Yeah.
No, it's players like a Revo. It's players like Terry. It's players like Bobby Wagner. Those are the guys that a coach come in and hitch his wagon to and say, help me build this team. Help me build culture, because I guarantee you, when those guys speak, everybody listens. Because when you are a performer, when you're a guy that goes out there and do your job at a high level, people listen automatically. But if you're not doing your job, you got to shush. Nobody want to hear you.
And somebody that always does his job and has been a leader for us these last 2 seasons is a guy in Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
It seems like every time we talk about Bobby Wagner, he is breaking a record. He's reaching a new milestone. And as we said it, he has reached 2,000 tackles. I'm hearing that he is coming to the podium, so we will talk about him while we wait to take him at the podium. Fellas, man, I mean, I don't think there's any bigger fans of Bobby than us, right? Like, we love seeing what he can do, and it still seems like he got more in the tank, B.
You know what? I think people are used to seeing guys. We got him.
Oh, we got Bobby right now. Let's go ahead and take him. Go ahead, B. I was going to let you finish your thought.
About to get
Look
him,
like
man.
we got some time, man. He ain't there yet.
Well, I just said until he comes up. People always talk about the older.
Wait for everybody or what?
Yep. Bobby, let's start with what the win means for you.
It's just good to get a win. Last time we were here, it didn't work out so well. Obviously, circumstances are different, but you know, it just feels good to get a win, to start the year off with a win, and just try to end the season on as positive note as you can.
You entered some pretty impressive company tonight. What does that mean for you personally to have that kind of career longevity, just to be able to get that kind of accomplishment?
It means a lot because, you know, it was a long time ago when I reached out to those guys, and they were so grateful with their time, giving me advice, helping me, answering any question that I had, spending time with me. And so to join a group with them is just a blessing and, you know, something I'm proud of just because, you know, I just tried to apply what they taught me as much as I could, and you know, I was grateful.
Bobby, a point for you this season, really having to fight through some disappointment, to have a day like today where you guys are still fighting at the end, that maybe it was tougher at some point during the year.
Say it one more time.
Was there a point in the season where you maybe have to fight through frustration to be able to get to this end of the season to continue to fight?
Obviously, the season didn't go the way that we wanted to. But I think as competitors and, you know, people that want to win for the city, you have to just go out there and put your best foot forward. And that's all we did. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But we can walk away with a lot of positive and figure out how to fix things.
First of all, how do you feel that you finished individually, and how does it affect what you want to do going forward?
I feel fine, and I have not thought about anything outside of today.
Bobby, you've obviously been here 2 years. 1 year was great. 1 year team-wise wasn't as great. Does it give you some confidence that you could, if you did come back, or if this organization is close to being able to flipping it and having a year more like last year?
I haven't thought about anything outside today. I'm just grateful that we got a win today, and I like how we fought, and you know, we were able to kind of close it out from a defensive standpoint, and something to be proud of.
What things did you see? So we've been around, you've seen a lot. What things did you see from this team this year that maybe could lead to a quicker bounce back maybe for next year?
Honestly, I think a lot of the things that we had were a lot of injuries. We had a lot of, you know, situations injury-wise that played a role, and you know, I think there's so much talent in this room, and you just have to build on that. I think there's a lot of young guys poised to make a jump next year, and that's where the injury's at.
Bobby, what's it like to get to that 2,000 number and be able to share it with London, who's obviously around the team?
Now that part's that's part special, you know, to be able to do that for the city and this jersey and have him be the guy that presents it to you is special. Because I remember when I reached out to him, and I remember it was no questions asked. He took my phone call, he answered all my questions. You know, he would check on me, see how I was doing, and my whole goal was just to try to make him proud. And I never thought I would be wearing the same jersey as him, and to be in that same locker room with that energy and having him be the person to present that to me is something I'll never forget.
Besides the number, what does 2,000 represent to you?
I don't know. It's a lot of hard work. Consistency. It's pushing through injuries that people know about, that people don't know about. It's pushing through good times, bad times. It's staying committed to your work, stay committed to your craft, no matter what people say outside. You just keep going. And it's a lot of things that happen behind scenes that people don't know about, but you go out there and you perform. And, you know, I think it just speaks to the people around me, my family, my coaches, obviously my teammates, because none of this would be possible without all my teammates over the course of my season. I have to have D linemen, you know, to make sure they keep the guys off me. You got to have the nickel or the will or the safety, you know, turn the ball back to you on certain fits. There's so many things that kind of play a part in this number. So it also represents just, you know, the people I've been able to play with, people I've been honored to play with. And, you know, this is just as much as their accomplishment as mine.
Tracking tackles in real time can be tricky. When did you know that you actually?
So I didn't track it, you know. It was my coaches and my teammates. They were telling me. So the first half, they was like, man, you're not doing nothing. I was like, yo, we're in a good spot, though, so it don't matter. You know, I think George called down and said he got 5, and then Norton told me, and then they started celebrating. And I was just like, yo, like, let's win the game. Like, let's not have this happen and lose.
When did you start looking at the possibility of getting to this number in your career? Was it before this season? At what point do you know that, hey, you got a shot?
I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't think I thought about it like that. I think, you know, I was told by some of the great linebackers that a good typical season for a linebacker is over 100 tackles, you know, multiple sacks, multiple interceptions. And so I would really just try to go out and do that. And then, you know, first came 1,000, and then came 1,500, and then on and on and on. But it was never something that I cared about or went into the season like, oh, I got to get that. It's just I just did my job, and then as I did my job, the people around me said, hey, you itching closer to this. And, you know, I just felt like as long as I kept doing what I needed to do, whatever going to happen is going to happen.
You guys didn't lay down at any point. You guys kept competing. What does that say about the group and also about Dan Quinn and people still playing for the coach?
I mean, I just think it's the culture that we built here. Just always competing, always, no matter what the situation is, good or bad, because anybody can come out and work when it's going good. But through those challenging times, going out there and still fighting, I think is big. So I think it's something that we can you know, build on, and you know, proud of everybody in the building.
Buddy, I know you said you had a thought pass today. What are the next couple months going to look like for you? Like, what sort of process are you going to go through to decide kind of your next steps?
I had no process, you know, like as far as like thinking like that. I'm just grateful and blessed to be healthy, and I'm just going to enjoy kind of seeing the guys tomorrow and things of that nature, and then take it from there. Go back to the West Coast and get some sun.
All right. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Final thought. Okay.
That was Bobby Wagner. Now, normally we'd go to break, fellas, but we can cut you off, man. We got to give Bobby his flowers, man.
Yeah.
So great to see him up there, bro. Just graduated, got his master's, now is in the history books with 2 of the best ever.
You look at him, man. He's an accomplished player. He's probably done everything you can do at that position, but he's still putting himself through the rigors to get in shape for this game.
Yeah.
This game is not easy for any, but for a middle linebacker who's normally his size playing against offensive linemen that are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", 300-plus pounds, to get ready for that every year, it takes a lot. Man, and we talked to London earlier in the pregame show about what it takes to always be prepared. Bobby's in what, year 16, 15, 16?
Yeah, something
at
like
that position. And I know a lot of people like make a lot of comments, but I would just say, think about this. What have you done for 15 years where you had to get yourself in shape to deal with guys that are bigger than you on a regular basis? And you love doing it, and you had the success that he's had. hey, let's just give that man his flowers when we have a chance, man. He's outstanding.
He sets the tone with his work ethic. He sets the tone with his attitude. And he sets the tone on and off the field. Shout out to Bobby Wagner for joining the race with the London Fletcher and Ray Lewis. 3 future Hall of Famers right there, fellas. Baby. Now, we are still awaiting head coach Dan Quinn, but we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll be here for our head coach and more from these guys and even our radio guy, Logan Paulson. We'll be back with more Command Center Post Game Live, presented by Nissan.
Nissan trucks and SUVs are built for next-level adventure. Too much gear? Dirt? Rock? Sand? Get in a Nissan truck or SUV and feel unstoppable. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Now get 0% APR for 60 months when financed through InMac, or get up to $5,000 customer cash on select new models.
Trust brings us together as families, friends, and neighbors. At Northwest Federal Credit Union, we know your financial decisions are more than just signing on a dotted line. You're putting your trust on the line, and as life unfolds, we'll be here for every step of your journey. At Northwest, we work to earn your trust every day, because this is our community too. Become a member today. Northwest Federal Credit Union, where trust matters.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Come to West Virginia this season and put the wonder back into winter. Find miles of uncrowded, snow-covered country to explore, and cozy cabins and lodges, all at prices that'll make you feel warm inside. Find your almost heaven at wvtourism.com.
You're watching Command Center Post Game Live, presented by Nissan. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop nissanusa.com.
Welcome back into Command Center Post Game Live, presented by Nissan. Your final score, 24-17. We are still awaiting head coach Dan Quinn at the podium. We will take him immediately. But until then, it is time to do our post-game delivery, brought to you by Paisanos, the official pizza of the Washington Commanders. Order now at paisanospizza.com. Pizza, wings, and Commanders football. Welcoming in the radio guy, Logan Paulson, was on the sidelines, came and kicked it with us. Logan, you started off, man. Who delivered tonight?
I'm going to say Josh Johnson, man.
Yeah.
I really think, obviously he had an interception. There's the fumbled snap. But I think overall, when you look at his performance, the big scramble in the low red, the scramble on 3rd and long, those moments, the completions to Terry, the chemistry that those two had over the course of the game, that was absolutely outstanding. And for a guy who's 39 years old, man, running the way he did, taking some of those hits, hats off to him, man. The utmost respect. Really fantastic performance, I thought.
I have to say C-Rod. C-Rod's been a guy, man. We've been talking a lot about our backfield. The running back by committee, seeing so many guys. We start off with Eckler earlier this year. He went down with an injury. C-Rod, we talked about him last year, about just coming in this year, being in shape, having so much opportunity. And it seemed like every time he got a little bit of opportunity, it was taken away from him because someone else shined a little bit. And it was like one of those musical chairs type of deal. But he withstood it, man, and he was the guy to finish the season off the right way and go out there and put up some big numbers, plus another touchdown to give us the victory.
Well, I'm going to take it to the other side of the ball. I'm going to go with Revo. Revo came out today. He had was tied for the lead with tackles and also got him an interception. And you look at him, he's had a tough haul too, just like a C-Rod. Yeah. A guy who had to go back and forth for a moment, then found his footing and he's taking a big grasp of it, I don't think he's going to let it go.
And guys, all those guys delivered. Now, while we're away, head coach Dan Quinn, let's break it down, right? Let's start with Josh Johnson, because I don't know if we talked about him enough. Logan, one thing I was pointing out to the guys, you're talking about his age, right? He was sacked 0 times.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with how quickly he was getting the ball out, but like what B-Mitch said, he was using those feet too.
Yeah, I think it's just the experience. Like that's one of those opportunities where like the older, more experienced football player knows how to elevate those guys around him. And it's not like this, Herculean performance, but it's just very, very solid. Just getting on base consistently, understanding when the ball's got to get out of his hands, and understand how to evade pressure in the pocket. Like really did some fantastic stuff, made some big-time throws today. And again, like, we did the guys that we thought stood up or big-time moments. Like the rapport he had with Terry. Yeah. Thinking about how few times he's probably thrown him over the course of the season, I mean, it's really just a testament to Terry and, again, testament to Josh and his work ethic.
And then look at that offensive line as well. Those guys out there, a lot of young guys who were filling in, and they played well. They gave him time. You could see him moving around, and when he had to use his leg, he did. Yeah. So I'd like to see that aspect of it for sure, because those young guys may be the future. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you saw them go out there and they play well against – we can say what you want about the Eagles playing some backups. They have talent all over that roster. Yeah. So, and they play well against them as well.
And Tanner, Logan brought up an excellent point, which I want to talk to you about, being our receiver here. Josh Johnson being the third quarterback, he probably isn't getting a lot of reps throwing to a guy like Terry McLaurin. How tough is it to find this success that they've been finding? Because I know we see it and we're like, that's just Terry. That's just what he does. But can you paint how really difficult that is for guys to find that kind of chemistry so quickly?
I think we'll probably look at it, or Terry will look at it later on and just think about, like, wow, that's the third guy I had to sit there and him get used to how I'm coming out of my breaks and how deep I'm going to be on certain routes. But as a professional, you don't give it time to like sit in and thought, because you got to go out there and perform. Yeah. So I don't care if it's you coming off the bench. I got to go out there and make sure I'm open. If you're a quarterback and you understand where certain routes need to be at, you're going to throw the ball accordingly. That means I need to be there accordingly. So I've been in plenty of games, man. We talk about my first year here in 2005 when we had Ramsey as my quarterback. Mind you, this is my first year. I was in training camp the whole entire year with Mark Brunell and hadn't caught a pass from him. Ramsey go down and play 10 of the game. Me and Mark Brunell went on and had a magical season that year. So that's just what it is, man. We get paid to play the game. We don't get a chance to think about what's going on. But I know when those guys sit down and Terry sit down and think about all the guys he caught passes from, that's when it's set in. That's when you kind of think about, like, wow, I had to go out there and do what I had to do. But it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? I'm kind of playing it down because it is what it is. You can't understand it. Right. I understand it, but I still, at the same time, I feel like we got to go out there and get the job done regardless.
And I mean, it's really a testament to Terry and the consistency with which he runs routes. Yeah. Like, because you can trust him. Like, you can almost throw it to him in the dark. And I think that's the thing that makes him really dynamic is, again, like, you watch him run a comeback, it's exactly where it's supposed to be. There's enough route running nuance to him. There's enough contested catchability that you can trust him. And I think, like, Josh has had enough experience to know, like kind of like you and Mark Brunell. You always tell that story, like, Mark was going to, like, where's Tanner? Let me figure it out. Like, that was what this game felt like. It's like, I know I got a stud out there. I know where he's going to be. Let's give him an opportunity to win this game.
You know, like you're being in the batter's box and you're sitting up there and the pitcher pitches and you're getting ready for his timing. Josh is the type of guy, he's played so long, where Josh is probably sitting out there behind everybody. When Terry breaks, like, okay, I may have this chance one day. I may have this chance, then all of a sudden, bam, it happens.
And Tanner, you mentioned C-Rod as your guy. Let's talk about C-Rod right now. 16 carries, 65 yards, and a touchdown. We have seen him gone through so much in those first 3 years of him being here. I got a feeling now C-Rod has found a home in the burgundy and gold.
I mean, you know what, to be honest with you, man, and I'm going to put this out there going forward, I think coming into next season, we got to look at him as running back one.
Ooh,
you know, I think he gets opportunity time and time again when it comes down to, like, close, especially short yardage. And he seems to be the guy we need to make those runs. You know, don't get me wrong, I love Bill, and I think he's that lightning to that thunder that C-Rod brings, and it'll be a great switch up with both of those guys back there. But the opportunity that this guy has had taken from him and given back to see him perform time and time again, someone has to say, you know what, I'm going to reward you for that and let you at least know coming in, you the guy. Because I know that he's going to be ready for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's been showing us that he's ready, so they need to give him that nod.
And you saw that last play. He's catching the ball at the backfield as well. What you see with a C-Rod, if the play is blocked for 3 yards, he gets 4. Yeah. Because he's going to get what he gets. Okay, Bill is a different style of running back where Bill can see that 4, and he may get 2 for one time, but the next time he may go the distance. But if you need a battering ram consistently and then you wear somebody out, Bill can be your closer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in baseball, they got a pitcher that goes out 5 to 7 innings, and then they bring in the closer. You got two guys right there that could be special down the stretch.
And fellas, y'all talk about the things C-Rod has been through. Let's really talk about it, man. Before the season starts, before we trade B-Rob, he's the 5th running back on the roster. Like, he has to come and make that. He has to come and earn his keep. We have seen that so much. Logan, you are in the film all the time. When you look at the last 3 years of C-Rod and his progression, what are you seeing in the film that shows that maybe he can be that RB1 Tanner talks about?
Well, I think the thing that sticks out to me about this year specifically is I feel like he's in really good shape.
Yep.
Right? I think he's running with a little bit more urgency. There's a little bit more burst to his game, which, again, like, you can be a powerful runner, but in the NFL, man, you have to be able to kind of get in that hole real quick, right? As quick as you possibly can. And then the toughness, like, he's evolved in terms of being a difficult tackle. Like, he's got a little bit of kind of lateral quickness, but also when he puts his shoulders down with that forward lean, like, that is a special, difficult person to tackle and bring down, and you feel that. B, you talked about it. 3 and 4, like, there was a bunch of times today where it's like he's hit at the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's 2nd and 10. Oh, and you look up and he's like, oh, that's 2nd and 7, because of his personal effort. And so, again, like, is he going to hit the home run? Probably not, but he does have that just kind of get on base running style, which is so valuable to an NFL offense.
And think about a day like today. It's cold.
Yeah. No
People
one
don't
wants
want to
that.
hit you.
Yeah.
Okay? C-Rod runs the ball and make guys say, like what Fred Smoot made when the tackle was coming up.
Business decision.
C-Rod makes people do that.
65 yards and a touchdown for our guy C-Rod. Now, you said somebody to deliver was Jeremy Reaves. I've heard you guys talk about him. We have not heard from Logan yet. Jeremy Reaves, a guy that has just been a staple on special teams. But then this year, we deal with so many injuries, and he becomes a prime player on our defense. What have you seen from him, Logan, in his development and his leadership?
Well, I think the thing that sticks out to me about Jeremy's, like, and I heard Tana talking about it, is like that special teams, like, don't undervalue that. If you're having a hard time making the roster, that's a good way to find a home, stick around, evolve, learn defensive principles, and then get your time to shine. And when it's your time to shine, because you've got this background of what it means to be a professional, you can capitalize on it. So I think you see, and again, he brings the same physicality on teams to defense. The tackling, the consistent tackling, that's actually gotten a lot better from last year to this year, which is fantastic. And then the interception day is something I never thought he had in his bag, right? The ball skills to make that kind of play. So he's a guy, like, again, it's one of these special guys that we've seen throughout our careers, throughout covering the team, that when given the opportunity just gets better and better and better and learns and continues to improve. And you can't, that self-starting element to a player, you can't coach it. And so, like, when you have a guy like that, you really got to reward it, and I feel like they've done that here.
And it's funny, you talk about a guy getting better. What's this, year 8, year 9 for Jeremy Reaves? To see him continue to get better, it's much like what we see from Bobby Wagner. We heard from Bobby Wagner a little earlier. 2,000 tackles. Reaches that. We and the guys got to talk about it. I know you want to give Bobby some love, too, on that milestone.
I mean, I just can't even fathom that. Like, there's a bunch of milestones, like 2,000-yard rusher, 2,000-yard receiver. Like, the physical violence required for 2,000 tackles, the longevity, the preparation, like B was talking about. Like, you are not right medically in the head to do that. Like, we get to hang out with Fletch. Like, we get to hang out with Fletch. Like you were talking about, you're dealing with bigger guys. Like, you are getting in 2,000 car crashes in your life in a 13-year span.
And loving it.
And you
loving every second of it.
And you have the physical resiliency to, like, I cannot think of another metric in football that shows toughness, competitiveness, and stick-to-itiveness the way that statistic does. So kudos to Bobby, man. It's fantastic.
And it doesn't let you slow down.
Drop the T.
Drop the T?
You say stick-to-itiveness. Sick-to-itiveness. They sick.
Oh, sick. Sorry. Dropping bars over here, B. I wasn't ready for that.
And Logan, again, a guy in Bobby, doesn't look like he's slowing down. Looks like he can continue to play. We did not get to hear his press conference, but we'd love to have Bobby back, right? Right, Logan?
Yeah, and this is the difficult thing with Bobby, because I think there's a lot of fans, a lot of people calling for, like, hey, a youth movement at the position. But I think if you look at the last 5-6 weeks, since the Miami game, really, like, he's been playing at a really high level. And so if you are going to bring him back, does his role change to accommodate a guy like Jordan McGee, specifically on third down? That's what I would look to, right? Because there's no doubt Bobby can still play. But, like, what is his best utilization? And to me, it would be on first and second down. Let's get him to, like, whatever, 3,000 tackles, whatever it takes. But he's doing a great job.
And it's right. You got the young guys in there, Jordan McGee and K. Madrado. And speaking of the young guys, Logan, we got some draft coverage coming up. It's your time to shine. Let's get into our road ahead, brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And Logan, usually the road ahead is about the games we got left, but the season's over, my brother. So we have some big dates coming for you, because Logan Paulson will be diving deep into draft coverage starting next week at the Shrine Bowl. Logan, tell the fans what they can expect from y'all this offseason. I'm looking at these dates right here, my brother. You are going to be busy.
Very busy. Obviously, Shrine, Senior Bowl, that kind of the big, post-college season for like the senior football players, potential draft picks. That'll be a great opportunity to get to watch football. 87% of those guys end up getting drafted. So if you want to know who's going to be available, maybe not in the first 2 rounds, but down the draft board, that's a great opportunity to know that. Then obviously we got the Combine coming up here, which is a great opportunity to kind of see everybody's height, weight, speed. The Underwear Olympics be, I know you love that. But again, for us in the draft community, that's a big day. And so all those things to kind of help develop our draft board, we're going to talk about every single position. Last year we got to 225 guys. Hopefully this year we get to 300. That'd be pretty fantastic. So if you need anything Commanders draft related, this is your one-stop shop.
For sure. And Logan, as you look at that, because we know this doesn't just start now. You've been prepping all year long. What are you most excited about this process? Because now the season's over, draft time.
So I think the thing for me that's most exciting is the combination of draft and free agency, because this is where you build a team, right? Like, this is how you get ready for 2026. So identifying team needs here in Washington, saying we can get better here, here, and here. How do we best do that? Look at the free agency landscape, how Adam Peters, who did a great job the last couple of years, addresses that, and then in the draft with young, talented pieces, and then can Adam Peters work some magic and find some more draft picks? All those things are going to be really compelling to keep an eye on.
Yes or no question. I'm not asking you to give me names or whatever, but you know what the needs are for the Commanders.
Yeah.
Is it lucrative in this draft?
So this is a very interesting draft.
Yes or no. Why you got to give me all this
I got to give you this other stuff, man. I got to give you some
Hey,
context.
we have time, Logan. You do your thing. Add context.
Paint a picture, you know what I'm saying? So in this draft, so you need a receiver? Yes, there are receivers. You need explosive playmakers? Yes. I do feel like this year the top 15, top 25, maybe not as stellar as it's been in years past, but like with any draft, if you know where to look and you've got a front office that can hunt and peck and find guys that fit your program, dude, you can find anything in this draft. And I look at last year's draft specifically, Connerly, Amos, Lane, Bill Krosky, Merritt, and Kay Madrano. 4 of those guys were huge contributors this year. If you can hit that again, you're going to be doing all right.
There we go.
And Beamish, man, put you on the spot, too. What position of need are you looking at right now? We've seen so much football from this team. We have so many guys that are still banged up. I feel like it's kind of hard to evaluate positions of need at this
I'm
point.
still on the defensive side. I think pass rusher. You know, I think you have to deal with that. I still think you can utilize another guy in the secondary, and then you go to the wide receiver. I just think that you playmakers at those positions, and in this league, you got to have somebody that consistently puts pressure on the quarterback. If you have that on your team, you can do a lot of different things with it.
And to piggyback off of that and look at Philadelphia just as kind of a team that was in the Super Bowl last year and is in the playoffs this year, is the depth of those positions.
There you go.
You need 8 defensive linemen. You need probably 5 good wide receivers. And if you have that, again, you can accommodate injury better, and you can make sure all those guys are fresh when they're rushing the passer.
There you go.
And Logan, we are awaiting head coach Dan Quinn. You guys talking about the draft makes me think of something I've seen a lot of fans talking about, and it's seeding, where we actually end up in the draft. A lot of people wanted to see a loss because maybe we would get the 5th pick or whatever. Logan, when you look at this, where our team sits, and you look at the draft prospects in that top 10, right? Is there a big difference between being 5 and maybe 7, 8? Me, Beavis, and Santana were talking about it a lot.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a huge difference. Obviously, there's going to be a good player at 7. There's going to be a good player at 5. I think the one thing is Dante Moore from Oregon, if he chooses to declare and there's a 2-quarterback draft all of a sudden, you know, with Mendoza from Indiana, then that top 5 becomes a little bit more interesting, trade potential. But again, like if you want a good player at 5, yep. If there's a good player at 7, absolutely. So to me, there's not a huge difference. And again, you got to think about each team's individual draft boards. Like our draft board will be slightly different than Philly's draft board in terms of prioritizing what works for us. And so we might end up getting our second best player at 7. You know what I mean? And I think that's important for fans to remember that. There's not one size fits all in terms of draft prospect. True. So 5, 7 doesn't really matter to me.
And, fellas, we made it this whole time without mentioning Jaden Daniels once. But this was Jaden Daniels' 2nd season. Now he's going into an offseason. We don't know what his health status is like, but we know he is working hard to get back. Logan, when you look at what you see from Jaden, from the games he did play, what do you want him to be focusing on this offseason as he prepares for year 3?
Yeah, I think for me it's just about, you know, can you develop as a passer in the pocket? I think that's what I would say. And, again, that's not an indictment on what he's doing, but just – control the football, keep your eyes downfield, be a playmaker.
Fellas, finally at the podium, our head coach, Dan Quinn. Thank you, Logan.
All right, what's up, everybody? Well, I put this down. For 18 weeks I've been up here, and I'm certain the word that I've said the most is finish. And sometimes we did, and other times we didn't. And it's really important to see that tonight. To see us finish like a super challenging season by the guys, absolutely, I thought, just fighting their ass off. It's been tough lost a lot of players to injury and some really just tough moments. And so for me to see them, it was just cool to see the players who were able to, to battle for one another. And that's what we said this would be about. I'm proud of the team tonight. They fought and they finished, and that's what I was looking for going into it and this like the most difficult time. There'll be plenty of time for reflecting, and that's definitely going to happen soon, but I'm in no way in that space right now. And so let's save that conversation for later this week. Promise I'll give you all the time I can, but I'm not there tonight. But all that said, I'm glad to open up to questions regarding the game.
What did it mean for you to see Bobby get that 2,000 club?
I was like super proud. In fact, it was like a cool moment tonight, John, that I asked London to be in the locker room as well. So for only 3 players in the history of our game to have over 2,000 tackles with Ray and London and Wags now part of it, it's fitting. He's the best tackler I've coached. And so, like to have that happen, like you could see how important we were for that. I looked at the stat line at the half and I was not so, okay, let's blitz him, let's get some more tackles. But in true Wags fashion, he will find a way. He's remarkable in so many ways. I showed the team yesterday, just got his MBA from Howard with a 4.0. Like, of course he did. Like, why would he get a B in anything? Like, that's be so un-Wags-like in so many ways. So I was really happy that London was there too, John, because these are 2 guys I said, man, like, don't stand too close. These guys will tackle you to the parking lot, in the locker room. Like, it's what they do. But it's pretty rare to have those 2 guys together, and so that was important for me to have London. I asked him, please come down early so you could be here from the radio broadcast, and so to see those 2 guys together at different times, different eras, but very cool.
There's no way you could have obviously thought when you first saw Bobby that this would happen, but what you recall, the first thought about what he could be?
Well, that was the best trait that I saw, going there to see. He was long, and we had some meetings with some of the players this week that were thinking of emerging players. I said, I'd like to show you some of the early practice and training clips of what tackling looks like, because rarely is he out of position, much like the center fielder that knows how to track the ball and go after it. Very rarely does he overrun a play or not in the right space. And he's turned out to be a really good blitzer, and that was something that we didn't do a lot with him early in his career. For the early part, but because of his size and his strength that he's developed, that's also been a really strong part of his game. I don't know if he had any today, but I thought he applied good pressure inside.
You had other milestones today. Vaughn had a big sack, and Josh got a win. I just wonder what those 2 things meant to you as well.
It did, and I spoke to both of them, and I could feel, let's start with Josh first, just the intensity, the work that he wanted to put in, and afterwards you could feel, his excitement as head coaches and quarterbacks. The wins and losses, they get attached to you, and so for him to have one and fight for it, that was a really big deal. He really put in the work. You guys probably saw we played a little bit differently with Josh compared to Jaden and Marcus, but it was effective for him, and I think that was a good sign. And then for Vaughn, we were just talking before we had come in about, he goes, I remember you picking me up, we went out to lunch together, we talked about some things, and man, I'm really honored that I got to coach him. I wish I'd coached him for all the years because of the uniqueness that he brings, but when anybody's really, really good at something, there's a lot of detail that goes into it, and that's what I've learned, from him. And man, I'm the one that's on the grateful side because I learned a lot.
What aspect of his pass rusher maybe do you appreciate even more after watching?
You wouldn't think of his power, because he's not the biggest guy, but he's got really good power. He can get up the field and turn into a guy. So that would have been something that you don't oftentimes think of for a 250-pound player, where he's not 270 and can work a guy back, but because of his legs, John, he has got real power down in his lower body, and so it's a good reminder. Just because the guy is not heavy doesn't mean he's not powerful through his legs, and he's a great example of that.
This might fall in the reflective category, but you stood at this lectern at the end of the season in 2 very different seasons.
Yes.
Does that give you hope that flip it around 1 year? Is it doable to flip around in a single offseason again?
Yeah, I'm not there yet, like reflectively, but I've got high hopes because of the locker room. To see so many different pieces in, but over the last 4 weeks, the fight remained the same. By no means was it clean or turnovers or tackling or any things that I like. But if you have your attitude right and they want to fight for one another, I think that alone is a standard that you have to build a championship program. And no one likes the roller coaster of year up to year down, but seeing that kind of fight for the guys that were able to do that tonight, that's a big deal to me.
Coach, these last 2 or 3 weeks, we noticed a little bit of a shift in the offense, whether it be more H-back usage, maybe more moving the pocket with design runs under center type stuff, just various little items, but really kind of in the last 2 or 3 weeks, just kind of what has inspired that shift here late in the season?
Yeah, and a good bit of it was through Josh and what he would be able to do from the line of scrimmage. Could we get to some plays? Could we get to some checks? Coach Fangio's defense tough. They play a lot of quarters. They brought good pressure tonight. As you get down closer to the red zone, their red zone defense and red zone offense, I think, have been one of the strengths of their club, and certainly one that I study and look at. But more than anything, just finding the best way to feature the players, and how they can go. There were some tough runs by Chris. I like the shots we took to Terry. Some of them resulted in fouls, so it won't show up on the stat sheet. But they were good throws, outside when you have your chances to go. And so I'm looking forward to watching those. But I thought those were, good shots, for the time.
Hey, Coach, could you talk about the stretch as far as you all have the ball, you go on offense, you score, and then your defense has to hold them out. Could you talk about that series right there?
Yeah, towards the end of the game. Yeah, I think that's the finish, Donna, that I'm referring to see the defense finish tonight. That was what we wanted to see the offense go down, to get ahead when we, fell behind. All right, we go and get your scores. We took some shots on fourth downs tonight. We were able to do that. But more than anything, knowing, okay, this is the time. Now we got to go close the game out. And for a guy like Vaughn or Wags in that space, that's a competitor's time. And when he got the first down, as we got through the 2-minute, getting some more stops after that, I thought was a really big thing. And the finish, that's what I was proud of at the end.
Got time for one more? Not to ask like the contemplative stuff, but what are the next couple weeks like for you? We know you're going to talk with us and Adam tomorrow, but how do you kind of go through that?
There's a lot. It starts with the players first, and then we go through what's called like exit interviews with them. And you can learn a lot. And I think the first thing you do as an off-season begins is, where do you improve internally? And the players, that's why we do it. We find out a lot from them, what we can do better, how we can do things differently. You go through that with players and coaches. We meet with free agents. So there's a lot of internal work that you have to do first, kind of point the mirror at yourself. Then you get into end. But that's what we'll gain from tomorrow. We'll meet with the players, and we call those exit interviews. And so it's not just like, hey, good luck, see you in the off season. We try to be mindful of, what are some things that went well? What are some things we need to do differently? And through the years, I've learned a lot from players. And in fact, most of the really, really important things have been from them. And so I want to listen and then take all the information in and then systematically, put it together. But it does take time when you have a season like this where you're just frustrated. And if I had the hair like you, I'd pull it out. But it's not an option right now. So there's a lot to go through, but it starts with the players. And tomorrow is an important day to do that. And then we'll start, the off-season process, which goes, pretty lengthy. All right, thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys.
That was our head coach, Dan Quinn. And fellas, this is a wrap. on Command Center Postgame Line, but also the season that was. Appreciate y'all so much for tuning in with us. But just because the season over don't mean the content over. We got a full slate of shows for you all week long, and Command Center isn't going everywhere. Every Thursday on the Commanders YouTube page, and catch us on WSA 9 all off season long. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. here with Brian Mitchell, Santana Moss. Shout out to Logan Paulson for kicking it out with us with this cold. We are going to get out of this thing, but make sure you thank yourselves and pat yourselves on the back for being the best fans in the NFL, rocking with us all season long. We'll see y'all next week on Command Center.
Hey, before the game, Jake said the brotherhood game and the start in 2026, man. That was cool. Battling for one another like there's only one game ball to go out tonight, and I brought one of the old heads in, so Fletch.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Hey, listen, in the history of the National Football League that's been played over 100 years, there have been 3 players to eclipse the 2,000 tackle mark. Only 3 players. So Ray Lewis, myself, and today, Bobby Wagner.
Thank you guys, I appreciate you, man. Ever since I got out here, man, the love of the game, you guys helped bring that back to me. And, you know, I know we've had some up and downs, but I would never want to go ups and downs with this group. This group is special. It means something to me. It's something I'll always remember. I'm so grateful for you guys, and let's keep pushing.
Hell yeah, Bob.